I'm feeling ready. I don't know about you. I'm kind of actually anxious to get into this one. This is going to be a fun night. Got lots to cover. Get your headphones working? Cool. Do we have sound? That's weird. So the 8 ball gave the copy right away? Yeah, I know, right? That's what I'm saying. That is so weird. Why does the 8 ball not work? I don't get it. Well, let's just do this thing. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we are doing a whole new project. So yeah, that's going to be kind of exciting. Um, we've got there's so much to do here before we get started. Before we go, um, let's first just remind everybody we have the secret word game is still in effect. We're still looking for a winner for these two lovely bracelets. One is mine and one is from Minute Craft. And all you got to do is chat, and maybe you say the right thing, and then the bot will tell you you're a winner, and then yay, it's all kinds of awesome. So yeah, there's that. If you haven't already, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't even have to watch all my videos, but it makes me happy. So if you do that, that would be completely and totally awesome. And oh, hang on a second. Why is that not got sound? Wait, was there sound with that thing? With Patreon spin? No. Hang on a second. That's so sucky. Okay, wait, let's just do it anyways. Okay, so we did a thing earlier, and this is the result. And apparently, for some odd reason, I don't have the sound captured for this. But and right, other than doing it where I was doing a number thing and a Excel spreadsheet, I actually got a spinny wheel now. So this is kind of cool. So we spun to see who the winner is and spun to see what bracelet it would be. And this month's winner, BZ Knights, which was really cool because it had applauses and confettis and all kinds of cool stuff. And I have no idea why I did this wrong. I should have tested this earlier. Anyways, so then spin for the bracelet, which before I used to just pick out a bracelet. Now this is way more fun, and this is how we're probably going to do it each time from here on out. So he got the green bracelet, which is really cool. Oh, and if you're wondering why some of the names were in there twice, that is because they are at a higher level in patrons as far as their pledge support, so they get extra things on the wheel. It's just that simple. Nothing too crazy, nothing weird. Just is what it is. So yeah. What else we got? Oh, we still have two of the bracelets from the big project. So these are still up for $25 each, or the two of them for 45. I know that seems like a lot, but this is sort of like owning a piece of history. I will not be making more of these, and they are leftovers from something that was pretty amazing. The other one I wanted to bring up is this thing has got some cool glow in the black light colors, though neons. Yeah, I see that. I don't know why the camera's not sharp. It's making me crazy. Anyways, it's got some neon colors and stuff. This is one I made in Phuket, and I'm just asking for a reasonable amount. If you're interested and you want it, shoot me a number and I'll tell you if it's yours. So that's kind of simple. And yes, my camera seems to be having problems with focusing. Hang on, let me see if I got a cloth around here or something. I don't. How do I not have a cloth? Feel like maybe I have a fingerprint on the thing. Let's try this real quick. Does that work any better? I don't know. Things acting weird. All right, so there's that bracelets. Yep, covered everything. Hang on one second. Let me get music playing. Okay, so far I just have a little braid sitting up here underneath the clip, and what I'm going to do is pretty much the same thing I do with all my bracelets. I'm going to go over the whole bunch with the first color, and then go over what's left with the second color, and on down the line, so that way it comes out nice and clean. So basically this is, I am doing like this and then pulling the string up and through. So if you're trying to follow this at home and you've never done this method, it's really kind of simple. You don't know how to make the camera more camera-y. Okay, so that's that side. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, except for this time, the angle is different. So we're starting with the lightest color. And see, it's going to go this way, right? So it's kind of like a number 4. And just kind of pull it up and through. Somehow only grabbed. Oh, so my strings are doubled up here because in order to do the braid like I wanted, I needed more strings. There is absolutely no difference in this technique when you double up the string versus if I had used a single string. So it really just came down to how many strands I needed for the braid. So if you're a person who really loves having the single strands, you don't have to feel like this is some kind of weird sorcery or something. It's the same exact thing. The knots all go the same way. Oh. There we go. And apparently my chat thingy wasn't working, so I've fallen way behind. I'm sorry. Hello, everybody. I am like so focused on trying to make sure that I have a good tutorial today. I'm like super concentrated on this. All right. So now I'm just doing the standard right hand or right facing knot, forward knot. Depends on what you want to call it. I guess it's a forward knot. I think everybody can agree going to the right is forward. Well, okay. Minute Craft, you're right. The Kumi starts are pretty whatever, and that's why I didn't make a big deal about that, because it's not necessary. It's just, you know, however you want to do your loop. That's I don't want to get people started on the fact that like they got to do this in order to make it happen. That's not necessary. So yeah, I am not used to seeing so much white. And look at how much more light is bouncing off this board. My face looks like completely washed out as a result. It's just, oh, and check, whoa, back the camera over here. There we go. Check that out. Somebody's got themselves a cool background. Okay, so now we're going to go with the left knot, which is the backward knot. And that analogy of forward and backward knot totally works for me, because when I learned, I only knew the forward knot and I taught myself the backward one. And in my head, the backward one does feel like it's backwards, but it's different. So yeah, these are the same colors. This is leftover string from the last project, pillow number 1. So that's, so there we go. Got the first 2 rows in. Now, because we're doing the dovetail, basically, we won't be using these strings here, right? So you go all the way to the edge, and then you just leave it be, and then this one will go one short, right? Show you in a second here. I have videos showing how to do the kumis. There's no secrets here. It's the cool trick is tying a knot across the kumi first, and then do your kumi, and then tie another little knot, and that'll keep the kumi from unraveling while you get things all situated, which is that's the trick that nobody else seems to have noticed. Like, I've even seen like fancy Japan's got like kumi like museums or whatever, with like little short pieces of different designs that people have done. And nowhere in any of that does it look like they put the little knot to hold it from unraveling. So, yeah, this might be just something that we came up with. So now I'm doing a right-handed knot. And you can see that what we've got is it's going to taper itself inwards a little. And basically, we're going to create a little diamond out of this. And that's exactly what we want to do. Now, for all the people who like using tape when it comes to making their bracelets, you are going to hate this tutorial. I'm just going to let you know right up the bat, you're going to hate it, because there is a lot of moving it around. This is partly why I think clips are the win in this kind of stuff. Yeah, you're not going to want to do tape with this. Even the safety pin people might hate this, because this pattern generally takes longer because there's so much more situations with the clip and moving things around, and that it just adds to the time. Like I can pretty much assure that a simple bracelet, even like this size, we're not going to finish it in the 2 hours that I'm allotting for doing video here tonight. Just won't happen. Oh, speaking of meeting or whatever, Patreon people, tomorrow is the first Sunday of the month. That means we have a hangout coming up. So, yeah, Patreon people, come hang out with me. it'll be the same time as the normal live stream, and who knows how long it'll last. Probably until like the alcohol, you know, kills off enough brain cells or something. I don't know. So yeah, lots of fun. If you're not already a Patreon supporter, you can go ahead and join. It's akaawol over on Patreon. So that'd be kind of cool. So this just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Each row that we add just is, you know, one less knot. All right. 2 more knots. So as you can see, we've just kept going kind of back and forth with it until all the colors were used and we have this lovely little diamond. Let's see if I can... Right. Pretty easy peasy. This is something, if you've ever done the dovetail, you know this is pretty simple. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn that upside down and put it back into the clip. And this is where things start to get difficult. We're going to take the 2 colors that we started with. In this case, it was the yellow, the lightest shade in the whole bracelet, and we're going to tie them together. And we're going to pull the whole thing really nice and tight so that way they join together. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just bring this row all the way across the side here. And as I'm doing this row, the whole thing is sort of a cylinder now. I will have to actually rotate it a bit in order to go over those strings. And this is, like I was saying about the tape, this is why the clip wins. Now this is the same pattern I just did with the pillow, so I mean it's not like anything too crazy or too difficult. It's just harder because of how many times you have to shift everything. So now come back to the middle, and I'm going to want to again make sure that this first knot is really nice and tight. It'll make all the difference in how well this thing looks. Yeah, we're not doing the chopstick because the chopstick would have to go from the bottom of the board, and I wasn't sure with this number of strands whether or not the chopstick was going to fit inside. So the chopstick is a technique. If you can wedge a chopstick in there, well, I have a couple chopsticks around we can try. So, yeah, see, this is a pretty narrow one. A lot of my tubes, I tend to use more colors, more like, so this is 6 colors or 12 strands. Normally, I kind of like to do like 8 colors, 16 strands, just because it's bigger. So, okay, this time I need to, well, wait, let's kind of go over what we've done so far. So what we did was we closed in that diamond, right? So now I need to make the next diamond, which will be the next color down, the next darker color. And then that we'll do the same thing as like what we did with this part up here, except for it'll be a little bit trickier because it's a tube now. So yeah. And we'll try the I typically don't do the chopstick until I kind of get things a little further along. It's just a little easier to have it all cinched up, so we'll do that in a second. Yeah, see, this is really kind of small. See, if you put a, okay, so the whole idea with the chopstick is you can put a chopstick right in the center of it, and it makes it easier to know that you're not grabbing colors from the opposite side and making mistakes and getting the whole thing messed up, which is cool and all. But if you put in something that's too big and unnaturally doesn't let your knots get tied tight enough, that can be its own set of problems. So you kind of have to be cautious when trying to choose a core for one of these things. Like I said, this one is just 12 strands, so it's rather tiny. So this is the one that comes all the way around and joins to itself. So we'll do that. Teeny, teeny, tiny. My wife knows my triggers. She knows I would have to say that after this. One of the things I used to do to gain her attention or whatever back when we had Skype and whatever. What were we using? We were like using every app known to be able to chat back in those days. Hey, the 8-ball said a thing. So I guess part of the trick of this is because you can't just lay the strings off to the side, there's a whole lot more remembering where you left off. So in this time, the strands come all the way down to the bright yellow and stop. And then I go back to the other side. And like I said, you can kind of see why this is more tedious, right? Because not only do you have to try to like memorize where you are and what you're doing, you have to keep rolling it back and forth. So it is a bit more tedious. This is like one of the easiest patterns there are, like short of just doing a chevron, which would still pretty much end up going back and forth the same way. The only difference would be that you don't have to stop at a certain color or whatever. You just go all the way to the end. But turning a bracelet into a cylinder definitely ups the level of difficulty. It's just what it is. But if you're tired of doing the same old, and you've got a pattern that you've got locked down as far as like how difficult, you know, or how it works and what colors you stop at and all that kind of stuff, if you're ready, this is definitely a cool thing that you can do. The way it lays on the wrist is really neat. And if you do it a little bit bigger, you can actually like hide some money in there, you know. I don't know. Depending on the size, I don't know what you could hide in there. You could do a big enough one. But yeah. I've got somewhere I put a bangle bracelet inside of it, which is pretty darn cool because that means you can take it on and off just easy. Love letters. Yeah, I like that idea. Right. So yeah, when you start getting into bigger stuff, then you start, yeah, making pencil cases and bags and all kinds of other fun, nifty things. Absolutely. Yeah. I suppose you would know that one, right? Beer cozies for the win. Absolutely. My Newt Craft has one of my hair ties. But does the beer really stick around long enough to actually need a cozy if you're, you know? We shouldn't be encouraging the youth into such things. This channel has a lot of very young viewers. Anyway. Yeah, the hair tie thing is really neat. I think it looks fun, especially if you have like dark hair to put something really bright to tie it back with. I think it's neat. Nice. Okay, so there I have completed the diamond, and now I have to bring down those two to close in the diamond, right? And again, this is about remembering which color diamond that you're on, remembering where you leave off. There's a lot more to concentrate on one of these than, say, that whole pillow thing that I made. And on the other side. And of course I didn't make this any easier on myself with the colors that I've chosen to do this bracelet with. because the colors are really close to each other. If it wasn't for the fact that I just did something like 24 times the width of this, I think I'd really struggle with these colors. But after a month or month plus of working with them, it's not totally hideous. Okay, so this is what we got with 2 diamonds so far. So you can see the first diamond, and then the second diamond sort of right behind it. Let's just try the chopstick thing just to see. Yeah, see, it's a tight fit, and this thing is so tapered that it will stretch it out of place, but we'll give it a shot. Why not? What I like about using the chopstick is that you can rotate the work around it much easier. Yeah, no, this is not with this board. Oh man, I just left a ink mark on my brand new board I just got. This board, by the way, in case anybody's interested in doing this kind of stuff yourself, is a watercolor board, I guess. I don't know. Got it at Art Place. They're only a couple bucks, and yeah, works out pretty cool. All right, so this one goes all the way around. And just like any other bracelet, you have to start at the high point and work to the low point. It's just a little bit trickier to be able to recognize where you're at. So I would definitely say this is intermediate to advanced, somewhere in there. I don't know. I mean, obviously, if you put a real complicated pattern into it, it's definitely advanced. The fact that I'm doing like one of the easier patterns kind of brings that level down a little bit, but I'm sure that there are those who would argue that, you know, this is nothing that they'd want to start off doing. So yeah. And I'm sorry if I'm missing out on anything good in the chat. Like I said, this takes way more concentration than the flat stuff. Oh, by the way, so I only just finished that pillow project that's sitting behind Mandy. I only just finished that today. Actually, I finished it before I even had lunch, which even surprised me. So yeah. And so I spent today cutting up string for the next big project. Now, will we be doing the next big project next Saturday? I don't know, because adding string to those projects is me walking back and forth across the room, and yeah, that doesn't sound like fun at all for a video. So If I get all the string on the board this week, then yes. If not, I'll have to come up with something creative, small to work on in place of it. So, yeah. All right, so these colors just came together. So that's the first part of their diamond. See, that's the part that wouldn't happen on a flat. Like the two, when you first come down with it, they don't go to the point of actually joining each other. So that's sort of the rub of this is it takes and does something that you're probably not used to. Whew. You're better than Man in White. Look at that. She just turned number letters around. You actually know how to spell that stuff. On Wednesday, the pillow is going off with the seamstress lady. And then, I don't know, day or so from then, I'll have a pillow. Then we'll have pictures of it and all kinds of stuff. You can come over and check it out. No. So behind Mandy is the airplane trolley, and I was playing around with some clips, and I thought, wouldn't it be kind of neat to give her an interesting background? And again, kind of like how when I was working on the pillow, I'm using the same method of, you know, last time there was just one light color. This time there's 2. The next time there'll be 3. Just an easy method for keeping track of where you're at with these things. Especially when the colors are so close to each other. She did. Don't know why. Darn it, I have like a nail that's just a little rough. And it keeps catching the string. Hang on a second here. Do a quick repair. It's nice that you guys get to watch the numbers and stuff. I'm over here like concentrating like my life depended on it. This. I don't want to make mistakes. All right. Three diamonds in. Not bad. I still have to close off that one, but you can see it's moving along. It's not bad. I might actually toss this bracelet into the group that's on that spinny wheel for the Patreon peoples. I sound like a robot? Tome amacato, Mr. Roboto. Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm not sure I could do good robot voices. I could probably get special effects added into the whole software thing here. That'd be weird. How would I make a robot voice? What would? I don't know. Affirmative? Affirmative. start throwing me under the bus now. Damn. Wow. Yeah, I think that's about all I can do with that one. So, time for the next diamond. So you can see, like, one of the biggest things about doing the tube bracelet is the amount of times that you have to actually rotate the thing. That's probably the most tiresome part of it. On top of the fact you having to keep track of like where you're at and what you're doing with it. But yeah, it's the constant rotation, I think, that is why you don't see me doing a lot more of these things. I don't want to do the Chinese accent. That's so bad. Yeah, pretty much it's me trying to do that kind of a thing. It's very Wong. The Indian one, yeah, this Christmas story, the rah 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 rah. Yeah. The Indian one was funny though because I misheard something. I have no idea what the guy was actually saying, but there's a big cement mixing thing out in the Pongal area here in Singapore. And there was an Indian guy over the loudspeaker, and he was obviously giving somebody instructions of some sort, but it sounded to me like he was doing the lyrics for Major Tom, which is that Elton John? No, who does the song Ground Control to Major Tom? Anyways, ground control to Major Tom. Oh, I can't do it now. I have to actually like hear an Indian speak for me to actually do it. I just realized, like, but yeah, it comes out really bad. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. It should never be done. But yeah. All right, let's see. That was that diamond. Yeah, so this is the beginning of new diamond. All right. But yeah, if I hear like Indians speaking and stuff, then it all comes back to me and I get like really retarded about it. This is the kind of stuff that like late nights with my wife and, you know, just get to a certain level of like lack of sleep, and then God knows I just do all kinds of voices and things. Yeah. So because we're just doing a single diamond with each of the colors, you can see that we're kind of running through the colors in the diamonds and stuff rather quickly. As opposed to like, if you guys remember like the first bracelet that I did before doing the pillow project, where I just did the singular one where it looks like fish. This obviously it doesn't look like a fish in the tube version, so there's no point in doing like the double rows that makes. Control to major town. Take your protein pill and put your helmet on. I don't know. I can't do it. Why can't I do it? Like my brain is suddenly like, I haven't done it in so long. I used to have it down. Like I'd do it all the time. We'd be riding the bike and I'd just be singing out loud, serenading my wife. Crazy. Oh, tomorrow our helper is out for the day, so that also means that there'll be a day of not being able to do fun bracelet stuff because I have nothing on the board. I can't take, like, if I had waited or done something different, I don't know. I could have been working on the pillow out in the living room tomorrow, but no, I ended up finishing that whole project. So yeah, go figure. I have no idea what I'm going to do to entertain myself for the whole day. Fortunately, she'll be back in time for me to have the hangout thing. And mind you, if you know, like Irina and whoever else patron watching this, I do tend to start like on the Sundays. I do tend to start the whole ability to log in earlier than the 10 o'clock thing. I just nothing better to do in the evening, and I can always hit the be right back thing. So yeah. Oh, and Patreon people, there's something coming up later this month where you'll be able to join a Zoom kind of hangout where some artist or whatever has offered to do a collab with me, and I get to bring all my Patreon people over to check it out. And she's doing something with string, I don't know, like regular macrame, I suspect. I don't know. But she wants me to show my macrame, so I'm just going to teach how to do beginner bracelet stuff and hang out. And it's, I don't know, it sounds like fun. I have no idea. This is something new. But the request came like the same day I got an email from Patreon suggesting, you should do collabs, to get more Patreon supporters. And I'm like, oh, that sounds cool, but too bad I don't know anybody. And then I get an invite. I'm like, oh, brilliant. But they're from California, so it's going to be really intense for me because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to join this thing at like 7 in the morning. And if you know me, I'm not a 7 in the morning kind of guy. So yeah, it's just a little slightly frightening. Only when it comes to pets? Just saying. All right. So that completed that diamond. Now we bring the red to join with the red again. Have a good night, my new craft. Take care. Hope you feel better. So red is the 4th color, and that means we are now working on our 4th diamond. Not bad. Again, this one will go all the way till it hits the end, and then like the colors after that won't use the red. Or no. 5th color, because the dark one is the 6th. No, I didn't, because honestly I can't think for the life of me what the name is, and I can't access my email from here, so I have no idea who it is. I'm not even like 100% sure that like everything is confirmed for the date or all that kind of stuff. I just know that I'm invited, so. And I plan on going. I've been having Mandy do all my correspondence because my spelling would frighten off anybody who's got, you know, smarts. But once I have everything together and we know we're doing this, I'll be putting the links and stuff inside of the Patreon. I'll do a post over there. But yeah, the person totally seems super nice, and like I said, I just heard about the idea of doing collaboration works, and I was like, oh, that'd be kind of fun. You know, not sure how that would fit in with anybody else's channels. And mind you, if I'm to understand the whole thing, I think I get like a 20-minute slot. So that's about enough time to really thoroughly show how to do a basic forward knot candy stripe bracelet, and then maybe enough time to then add in the backward knot and show how to do a chevron. So that's kind of what I'm thinking I'll be doing. Yeah, does Creation Chaos, does she have a Patreon? I got a feeling like if she had a Patreon, she'd be like well loved over there. I tossed it out there again. Like, you know, I had so much fun with the string she sent me for the first one, that I would do that again. Oh no, that was what Patreon was suggesting, was that in order to help boost your Patreon numbers is to do collabs with other Patreon people, so that way you get a little, because you already know that a Patreon person understands that a creator is something worth supporting, and yeah. But yeah, doing another project where, you know, like giveaway or whatever with Creation Chaos, yeah, I'd be down to do something like that. I have to admit, I'd really like to have enough of that string to actually make a little bag for myself. It's just pretty expensive when you're doing as many skeins as I need to actually produce something. So it's we kind of looked into the cost of making one. It was hard. Yeah, we could do something. What do you want to do? I could possibly use a Google Meeting and put you in a window the way Mandy's in a window, and be able to toggle things around and even make it so that way, like how Mandy's window can go full. Ooh. Wow, okay, so there's a name I'm never gonna ever be able to pronounce. Hi there. Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow, Rainbow. That sounds like a plan. Is that our friend that was... Cool. Hello. Revised Newt, that one? So I hope I'm getting this right. This is one of those ones where it's really easy to get it wrong when you're trying to do a cylinder. Well, I say that. It's a lot easier when you do a cylinder and it's bigger. And the area you're working on, you don't have to like roll it around. So that's why I like making bags and the bigger things. These little tiny tubes are way more tedious. I think I was kind of alluding earlier. If you do this with a bit more strings, don't do it with 12. Do it with like 16 or more. It's a whole lot easier. Well, I say a whole lot. It's just easier, just a bit, but every little bit counts, I'm sure. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so this is the 5th diamond. We gotta bring the red down back to itself again. But that makes the 5th diamond here. So this is definitely turning out fairly cool. Even though it is so small. Mind you, this is about the same size bracelet as what Mandy wears on her wrist. I made her something with a rainbow. So yeah, it's probably the same number of colors and everything. There's a 6 or 7 colors. 8 colors. You know? If there's 2 hot colors, then usually I balance it if it is. It might be 8 colors. Yeah, two of the hots, yeah. Yeah, 8 colors. So yeah, slightly bigger than this. Oh, right. All right. So that closed off that diamond, and now I can start on the next diamond. But yeah, I think in general, you know, if you're watching this and you're trying to learn how to do this, hopefully by now you kind of get the gist. If there was some kind of a rod small enough to go on the inside, like say how the chopstick, right? If this was was a bit bigger, having a chopstick going inside means that you can clip down the chopstick, and then this kind of swivels around it, right? It just turns out that this thing is so tiny that even just like it barely goes in there at all. So to try to wedge it up in there, you're just going to spread the knots out, and that's not what you want to have happen. You kind of need it to be the same size as the inside part. So yeah, I kind of wanted to be able to like show that part of it off, but yeah, this is just way too small for that. I do have other tutorials where I've done tubes where they were bigger, and yeah, you guys can check that out. I would put links, but I don't. It's hard because the computer is tied up actually creating the video that you're watching, so that's not kind of helpful, but yeah. All right, so now the next one is the darkest color, and that goes all the way around till it connects to itself to start off the diamond. So the pattern is in fact working itself out exactly as it should. I have to admit though, one of the things about doing these tubes is some patterns seem to work maybe better than others. Like this, don't think you genuinely are going to be able to see like what the essence of the pattern really was. Like the zigzag that my wife is wearing, that one's pretty obvious, like what's going on with it. The other tutorials I did out of I don't have a bracelet around to show you, but it had like the figure eights and stuff in it, and that turned out pretty cool. Another one was sort of a Celtic-y design, and that definitely came out way cool. But just because you can do a pattern doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be all that awesome. Like I'm I'm kind of warm to this, but not like, wow, it's so cool. It's nothing like the big pillow as far as having that cool special effect look. Excuse me. Somehow managed to get hiccups. Yeah, doubling the strings would turn out a lot better, I'm sure. Right. Unfortunately, for these colors, I don't have enough to double it again. I do have one more the same size, and I suppose I could do like single knot as opposed to doubling it up, but that would make me insane. I know a lot of you guys like to do like the single strand stuff as opposed to doubling it, and mad respect for you if that's your thing, if that's your way of doing it. For me, doubling it up is like definitely my way of doing stuff. It's just thicker, it's faster, it's easier. Easier for me. I can't say everybody should do it. Obviously, some people hate it. But yeah. Yeah, 24 strand, I would definitely say this would turn out a whole lot cooler. Yeah. But yeah, it does show though that like if you know your pattern well enough, obviously I played with this one for a while now. If you know your pattern well enough, you can do some pretty cool stuff to it that's not normal. And when it comes to doing like this is you can't put this on graph paper. Like there's no way of making graph paper round. Like it's just, you know, I'd love to help people with that, but it's just not possible. Yeah, right. I was referring to like people who depend on bracelet book or bracelet.net kind of stuff. Like it's just not, their software is not going to do tubes. Unless they got really clever real quick. I don't think so. Yeah, you'd have to, there'd be a row that would be sort of split on either of the two sides, I guess, to make that work. Like you'd have like half a diamond on one side and half a diamond on the other, I guess, maybe. So I guess tomorrow I can finish this bracelet, because I'm going to be, like I said, stuck out in the living room, keep an eye on Dad. Yeah, thinking a bunch of the bracelets made on video will end up becoming like potential prize stuff for the Patreon support. And I wanted to do the picking the winner and stuff live, but there's a whole bunch of video editing to make that actually work, and because my computer can't seem to do kind of all the stuff at once, it just doesn't work out. So it's too much. But there, all 6 diamonds are now completed. So I'm still tempted on making an actual like video as opposed to a live one, but I mean, if I'm just not sure about this pattern being like so hot that it makes sense to do that. I don't know. But yeah, there's all 6. So obviously I need more if I'm going to make it into a bracelet. I'm not sure how many more, but I think we're going to call this a night. It's just been kind of a heck of a day over here. So, but before I go, I want to thank my Patreon supporters for everything they do to help keep the channel going. We just did a renewal for the webpage, so that's kind of a big deal. And yeah, I gotta do some posting here shortly to the webpage to show the patterns that are involved with the pillows. So I just did a little printout thing or whatever, a little image for me to use. So I'm going to share that with you guys here in the next day or so whenever I get time to sit down with the computer. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of fun happening, and yeah, anything else besides, oh, we got the Patreon hangout tomorrow. Anything else big to look forward to? Oh, a new big project coming, which, yeah, I've barely started into it. I got the string cut, and yeah, that's going to be really exciting. So yeah, we'll be doing that one here soon. All right, well, I will see you guys tomorrow if you're a patron. If not, I will see you next week. All right, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.